Okay, I want to first of all say thank you to all of the media for coming out this afternoon. What I believe to be a very, very important gathering and news conference, and I also want to say a special thank you to all of the folks that are standing with me today at City Hall. It is so impressive to see all of them, not just here at City Hall, but standing together. Across this country for the last 2.5 months, we have experienced a lot of rallies, protests, and a great deal of division, and not just in America, but across the world. But that is not why we're here today, standing shoulder to shoulder. In fact, quite the opposite. And so we have met as individuals within this group a few times and had some good conversations. And they have asked that I would read an agreed-upon statement to the media and to the public, which I'm going to do at this time. And so as the mayor of Fresno, I proudly stand with members of the Muslim, Jewish, and Palestinian community who are leaders of their respective faiths in this great city. All of us together believe in the promise of one Fresno. We stand unified and believe there's only one side in Fresno, and that is the side of peace, unity, and nonviolence. There's no room for hatred. There's no room for intolerance. There is no room for prejudice, and there is no room for the killing of innocent people. As mayor of Fresno and the leaders representing the Jewish and Muslim faiths, we hope for a peaceful resolution to conflicts and pledge to work together toward a future where religious sectarianism is a thing of the past. Our vision is a Fresno where every Muslim, Jewish, and Palestinian resident feels secure in their homes and free to enjoy all the city has to offer without fear of violence, without fear of being derided, and without fear of being threatened. Here in Fresno, we may be Jewish, we may be Muslim, we may be Christian, we may adhere to one of the many faiths that together make this city great, but we are all Americans. We extend an open invitation to all religious denominations, organizations, and individuals in Fresno to join us as we stand in solidarity as one Fresno. Together, let us champion tolerance and understanding as we strive to make our city an exemplar unity for all. At this time, I'd like to have A.J. Rasamny, who is a friend of mine and someone who has been very engaged in bringing forth people together from the Jewish community, the Muslim community, the Palestinian community, and has, in fact, we had a lunch meeting one day at our mosque over by Fresno State, and so I want to have him come up and say a few words, and then out of respect for the wishes of the group when we met. We are not going to be taking questions and answers from the podium, but if there is a need or a desire on anyone to do one-on-one interviews afterwards, then that will simply be up to them. But we will not be taking Q&A from the podium. So with that, AJ.
Thank you very much. Can I have a hug?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. I just put some notes to tell you how we came to where we are today. So after the incident happened a few weeks ago, I was in contact with the mayor, and he said his intention was not to alienate our Palestinian friends. That's exactly what he told me. So I asked if I can volunteer to get a meeting together, which we did. And we met at the mosque with a rabbi. And he's not my friend, he's my good friend, Rabbi, by the way, Rabbi Rick Weiner. And with the mosque leaders and the Palestinian leaders, especially Abdul Jawad over here. And we said, how can we move forward? So I want to say that the rabbi said, when they raised the Israeli flag, he said, I don't mind raising the Palestinian flag. He said, I am for peace, I'm for the two states, and I don't want killing on either side. So we had understanding. The Palestinians at that time said, you know what? We don't want any politics to be involved. We don't want to raise the Palestinian flag, and we don't want apology because the mayor explained that that was a misunderstanding, was taken out of context what happened. He wasn't even talking to the Palestinian people in that incident. So this is how the meeting we have today came to. So I want to say, as an immigrant, and as a lot of people here are immigrants, we are blessed to be Americans. We came here because we want to live the American dream. We came here because we believe in the one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we, all of us over here, we support the mayor. We want to show that we are one Fresno, and we support the mayor in his future in the next 4 years to say we want the safer, we want the cleaner, more prosperous Fresno. So we stand behind the mayor with his decisions, and that's it, basically. Thank you very much.
I just want to say one closing thing to everyone who is standing with me. I love you. I love every single one of you, whether you are from Muslim faith or a Jewish faith, whether you're Palestinian or Jewish, it does not matter to me. I do believe in one Fresno, and if there's anything that I've ever said or done to hurt either of you, any of you here, I apologize, and I mean that from the depths of my heart. I love you guys, and I do want one thing, and that is one Fresno, and that means that we stand together, united as brothers and sisters, and hopefully we can do that. God bless you guys, and thank you for coming out today. We appreciate it.
All right, who's first?
Just, talk about, what you guys, came together and did today.
What we did today?
Yeah,
Well, today was a news
just
conference.
leading up to today, you know what I mean?
We met a few times to talk about our shared values, our shared vision, and really especially about Fresno. It's most important to us that everyone get along here in Fresno, and we really agree on so much. We want peace, we want coexistence, we want everyone to be able to live peacefully and freely together, and there was so much that we agree upon. The political problems in the Middle East, which are not going to be in our portfolio to fix, we can let that run its course the way it's going to. I mean, we support those who are standing up and speaking their mind, but it's so important for us here that everyone in Fresno not only get along, but enjoy and appreciate each other. That's one of the beauties we have locally.
Before we get too far, can you guys say and spell your names?
Oh yeah.
My name is Abdul, A-B-D-U-L, and the last name is Jawad, J-A-W-A-D.
You're the car
Yeah,
owner?
yeah.
Okay.
Rabbi, title R-A-B-B-I, Rick, R-I-C-K, Weiner, W-I-N-E-R, Temple Beth Israel here in Fresno.
So Rabbi, let me ask this, what do you think, every city council meeting and the flag raising ceremony, a lot of rhetoric going on from the pro-Palestinian community, especially with the comments from the river to the sea. When you hear that stuff, what do you think?
There's a whole lot of passion going on, and people are justifiably very upset about all of the loss of life. It's incredibly upsetting, and I really feel for everyone going through such difficult times. I don't think any of it's black and white. We all want justice and freedom for all of our people. There are some upsetting things that are said on either side, but we're really focused on how we can best keep a good, positive climate here in Fresno.
When you hear that stuff, does it upset you?
Well, you say that stuff, there was a whole lot of stuff.
Well,
There are some things that I get upset about, but again, in the rooms where we've been together, there was nothing upsetting because our goals were very clearly all the same. So that's gratifying. the preponderance of discussion and all of our discussion has all been so positive, and it reinforces how much beauty there is here locally in Fresno. I've been talking a lot. I want,
And historically, Muslims and Jews have lived along each other, and we don't have a problem living along each other, whether it's here in the United States or even back home. For thousands of years, we coexisted. It's the politics, the far right on both sides, is what divides people. And I think as a Muslim, I don't have a problem. I lived with neighbors, Jewish neighbors to me. We got along. They came to my house. I went to their house. And I think even people back home can get along, except for the politics and the far rights on both sides is what makes the problems, what makes it so hard. But, among, Muslims and Jews, we live along, and I think we have nothing but respect and love for each other.
So what do you think of the weekly protest out on Blackstone and Knees and all the stuff that's said here at City Council? And what do you think all about that?
I mean, like you said, there's a lot of passion, a lot of people, who have relatives who live in Gaza, who they see their relatives who been bombarded, and there's a lot of passion out there, and people sometimes, speak things when in those situations, people tend to go right when things like that happen.
You've said you've had several private meetings with various leaders. Why was it so important to have this press conference today to share the outcome of those private meetings?
Well, go ahead.
I can respond to that. Because it is about one Fresno. We're one city. We all coexist together. It's about that Pledge of Allegiance, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We don't want any politics to be involved. We cannot change the politics of the Middle East, but we can be the example for them as living together. So we don't want any politics, but we want humanity, and that's what we're working on. That's what we did.
And I think, people get it that there is the animosities between Muslims and Jews, and that's not the fact. Muslims and Jews, we got along just fine, and we wanted to express that to everybody, that we, Muslims or Jews, we don't have no animosities, and we can live along each other, just fine.
What are your various opinions regarding the calls on a weekly or bi-weekly basis for a ceasefire in Gaza?
Ideally, all of the hostility will end. When we get into the particulars of how that happens, we're going to leave that for politicians. We all want all of the hostility to end. There are, of course, some again, political sticking points that are not in our realm to affect. So one of the things that we all agreed on was here in Fresno, it's best for us to stay out of that, especially for our local politicians to stay out of that. And we really appreciate that the mayor learned a good experiential lesson from keeping the focus on local and figuring out how not to get too wrapped into international political happenings.
So would you consider that to have been a lesson learned after the raising of the Israeli flag?
I'll leave it
and the following brouhaha.
I'll leave it for the mayor to decide whether he thinks it's a lesson learned. Clearly, what we all agreed upon very quickly is that our focus is best here on peaceful coexistence in Fresno. And one of the things that I keep in mind, and from all the interfaith work I've been involved in here for years, we talk about tolerance. I can't stand the word tolerance, and that's not what's going on here. Tolerance is when you don't like somebody and you tolerate them. As we spend time with each other, we see the beauty in each other and each other's cultures and communities. And it's not tolerance, it's beauty, it's love. As the mayor said, and we see his emotion, that he really does love all the people of Fresno, and sometimes we all have to work with each other to remind us how to stay in that beautiful lane.
There were people in the pro-Palestinian community here in Fresno who were upset just at the very act of raising the Israeli flag. Did you share that that notion that the flag shouldn't have even been raised?
I'm going to stay out of that.
Okay, so I'm going to respond instead of Rabbi Rick. Rabbi Rick said after the Israeli flag was raised, or the day it was raised, said, why didn't we raise a Palestinian flag too? So he is for raising both flags. He is for nonviolence on both sides. He's for non-killing on both sides.
Well, let me clarify. So as the Israeli flag was raised, which was, as I understand it, the mayor's idea, it did not come from the Jewish community, there were people there shouting, why are you not raising the Palestinian flag? And it seemed to me reasonable that if the Israeli flag is being raised, then we should have a time, since we're all for peaceful coexistence, when the flags of both communities can be raised together. Ideally, in the land that is under dispute, we all want both communities to peacefully coexist. So the ideal that we're looking for is for the flags to peacefully stand side by side with each other. Clearly, the international political scene isn't ready for that. But if Fresno was able to model that both flags can be raised in our city, it wasn't done on the same day, but if both can be raised, then maybe someone in the Middle East can look at Fresno and say, oh, look, they can do it there. Maybe we can work harder to do it here.
Just to clarify, because I think you guys are very cautious in your statements, you do not support the city of Fresno calling for a ceasefire or taking any other action in that regard?
I'm going to let them make their decisions.
I would like anybody to call for a ceasefire. I mean, we will take it from anybody. I mean, we want a ceasefire. We don't want to see any innocent people get killed. So anybody who's calling for a ceasefire, we stand behind them. We want a ceasefire.
You guys, there's a lot of division going on right now. And Asia, I know you said, that we're example. And, Rabbi, I know you're saying, if they can see it in the Middle East, maybe they can come together as well. If you guys want to set an example, maybe nationwide, worldwide, that everybody can coexist.
So let me just clarify. When the Palestinian flag was raised, Rabbi Rick and Temple Bet group of people were there too, supporting that too. And I introduced him to a lot of Arabs, a lot of Palestinians, a lot of Muslims, and they all were very happy that he's there. Because he is for raising the flag, he is for the peace, for stop the killing. I don't want to go into politics. Obviously, somebody mentioned it today. The only thing is, it's from the river to the sea, and I know all of you know what it means. It means kicking all the Israeli out to the wall, which none of us want that. As a Palestinian, don't want that. As Arabs, Muslims, don't want that. And obviously, Rabbi doesn't want that. The only country in the whole world that says from river to the sea today is only Iran. The Arab world want the 2 states. The United Nations resolution wants 2 states. And the official stand of the United States is also 2 states. So really those protesters, if they apologize or remove the word river to sea, we have a lot in common. But we cannot turn that to a political issue in Fresno. Fresno cannot solve that, but we can be the example for the whole world.
Now, I can imagine some of the pro-Palestinian people we see weekly at the city council meetings. I haven't seen them here. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm sure when they find out who was invited here, they may not like that. Well, what's your message to them, to those who are very adamant and say passionate here that may not have been part of this group?
I'm doing this out of my heart as a true Muslim. Okay, I truly believe that we shouldn't have any animosity, and we don't have any animosity with Jews. I don't have, no matter what they think, I will stand with Jews. Okay, regardless of what they think. I'm going to do what my heart tells me, and I think it's the right thing. That's what I'm going to do.